So in the last 6 years, I've been on a weight loss journey. Maybe you've seen some of it online at some points or what have you. And in truth, in the last 6 years, I've lost a combined total of almost 130 pounds, which is massive, right? Um, and this isn't about congratulations by any stretch of the imagination, but this is about something that I've learned along the way. And I'm sharing this with you, and I'm being very clear about something as I'm sharing this with you. This is an N of one study. So this is me. I am not telling you that what I'm about to tell you is absolute truth, even the secret to weight loss. Okay. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just telling you about me in hopes that maybe it might inspire something, whether it's this or something else in you, and not even about weight loss, but just inspire in general. Okay. So I've lost that 130 pounds, and majority of that weight was lost without any um, dietary supplementation in terms of pills, potions, and lotions and other things. Right. Um, so no surgeries, none of that. It was lost by changing what I was eating, what was on the plate, and so on and so forth. But in the last 6 years, I've had moments of great weight loss and then what we humans call plateau, right? And so coming into the pandemic, I had dropped, I dropped almost 50 pounds coming into the pandemic. And then in 2020, dropped almost another 20 during the start of the pandemic. Um, at that time, I was also doing a lot of cooking with Atiba and I was losing weight. Okay. And I was losing weight. Um, and then it kind of plateaued. Then the world started opening back up, I guess in about 22 or so. And I started traveling again. And well, you travel and you're eating and it's fun and whatever else. And I gained some of it back. Then kind of reached a bit of a plateau there, and then was there for a good little while, and then was like, okay, I got to lose more weight, and got back on the goal of where I was trying to get to, and in terms of what the goal I had set in my own mind of the weight loss that I wanted to get to. Okay, and in that time, there've been at least two other plateau moments where I just got to a place and it was just freaking hard to lose weight. And I said to you earlier that it was about the plate, but that's actually a little bit not true. Yes, the plate helped, but it's a little bit not true. And so there's something that I've mapped back to for me that has made the difference. And that's what I wanted to share with you. And that is at every moment where I was able to achieve great weight loss. And when I say great weight loss, I'm not talking about 2 or 3 pounds, but that at least 10-pound drop. I had to look myself in the mirror and forgive myself for something. There was all kinds of stuff that I was holding on to: guilt, shame, fear. And I realized that in those plateaus, I'd reached a place where I'd become comfortable with the guilt, shame, or fear that I was holding on to. I had shed some before, and in shedding that before, weight disappeared. Right. And I'm saying this because, as I said, in 2020, when cooking with Atiba was at its height, and I was teaching people how to cook, and I was making bread and eating bread every day, I lost 20 pounds. Okay. When I was at home and not going outside, I lost 20 pounds. So how does that happen? And it perplexed me for a long time. And even now, and like in this video, the first thing out of my mouth was I changed my plate. But it wasn't just that. It really was in all of those moments. And I remember, early in 2020, I was there and I had to forgive myself for some things that I had done, some things that I had been through, some things that I put myself through. I had to forgive myself. And in that shedding also went the weight. So that leads to a question, I'm sure, of okay, but how do I forgive myself? Because we're all running around with unforgiveness of ourselves. Let's be honest. We are our own worst critics. The things that we say to ourselves, we would never say to another human being. How do I know? Because I've written down the things that I've said to myself on paper and looked at it and would never read that to anyone else or say that about anyone else. And so we're really hard on ourselves. So how do we forgive ourselves? And so I want to share what I believe forgiveness is. Okay. Um, Forgiveness means you don't owe me any more. You don't owe me anymore. You see, when you're feeling guilt, when you're feeling shame, when you feel like you've been wronged, even if that wronging was done by yourself, when you feel like you were wronged, you feel like someone owes you something. You feel like you're owed an apology. You feel like you're owed retribution. You feel like someone needs to make this better. But when it's yourself, who's going to make it better? How does that work? Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because the reality is the thing that you feel guilt, shame, whatever about, fear about, whatever that is that has happened in the past, there's no way to make it better. There's no way you can make it up to yourself. You can't do it. It's humanly impossible. And so you're holding a debt against yourself that you can never repay. And that's why forgiveness is so important. Because forgiveness says you don't owe me anymore. I used to think you owed me, Atiba. I used to think because you didn't do XYZ, which caused this pain or problem or this situation in my own life, I owed myself. And because I couldn't repay myself, I felt guilty about it. I felt ashamed for it. And it's not when I was able, not until I was able to reconcile and look at myself, look into my own eyes and say, dude, there's nothing you can do to fix where we were. You don't owe me anymore. Here's what we've learned. Here's how we're going to be better. Here's what we're going to do next time. You don't owe me any more. Now, as I said, I'm not telling you that I've just solved weight loss for the world. It's not my point. I'm telling you what worked for me. It's an N of one me study. But I guarantee you, there are things that you're holding on to that you've not let go of, that you've not forgiven yourself for, that are causing you all sorts of pain and keeping you from achieving and accomplishing the thing, whatever that may be, that you're working so hard for in your life. And until you take that time to actually forgive yourself, to truly, truly forgive yourself, you're just going to spin top in mud, as my mama used to say. So forgive yourself. If you need help, reach out. Love to talk to you about it because it's not an easy process. Well, rather, it isn't. It's an easy thing to do, but it's difficult. If that makes sense.